Hello guys, today I wanna talk about a successful Git branching model and what branching model we are gonna implement in our coolcsn modules, also semantic versioning. And before we start, I just wanna help you to recall how to install Zend framework skeleton application, but this is very briefly, and how actually can you participate in developing different modules. Okay. So how we install the Zend skeleton application, you can find this here at this address which you see right now. I'm gonna show it a little bit bigger. Go to frameworkzend.com and the user guide getting started. Here it is. This is one approach with Composer. I'm gonna use another one. I have used already another one with cloning the repository directly from Git, not creating zip or something else. I just cloned the repository. So you can go and find the repository here, of course, in GitHub. Let's wait until it's loaded. So you copy the URL, you open Git. I'm gonna start from scratch so everybody will know how to start. Here it is, git bash, and after that you just say git clone, shift insert. Let me type this. Shift plus insert is paste, and after pasting, if I hit enter right now, I will get a folder Zend skeleton application. The folder will be automatically created for me, and the repository will be cloned there. I'm not gonna do this because it's done already. I just will change my my folder, my directory, to Zend skeleton application. Okay. Once you have this, you have to run a composer. It's very well known drill already. If you don't remember how to do it, please go ahead and watch my previous tutorials which explain you how to start with Zend skeleton application for 30 minutes, within 30 minutes, in simple steps, how to install Composer, how to install Git, etc. Okay, so this is not the main goal of this tutorial. As I said, the main goal is just to talk about the branching models and versioning, how we are gonna do that. Now, let's say you want to participate in developing a module, or you want to create your own module. Okay, I'm gonna talk about a situation when the people want to participate in a given model. Okay, here my demonstration I will based on CSN navigation, because I did already this tutorial this morning, but unfortunately the sound wasn't recorded, and I did the tutorial with CSN user. So now I'm going to use another module, CSN navigation. Okay, if you look at here, you'll see that there are no branches, no tags. We are going to use the tags actually for released versions, so the people can go and download something which is stable. Let's say I have a stable branch right now in master. I just can create a tag. The tag is nothing else in Git but a named commit. Usually the commits get numbers, fingerprints, SHA fingerprints. You can name one of the commits in whatever branch you have. You can give it a name, but by giving a name, actually what's gonna happen is Composer will recognize this as a release, and as I said, I did it already for CSN user, so you can see here that I have created a release version 0.1.0. Okay, let's get back and let me show you how actually you can get a module in this Zend skeleton application. Instead of following the directions here, the installation instructions, and use the composer, instead of that we are gonna clone the repository. This is the most important thing. We're gonna close it in our module folder, and for CSN navigation that works. This is, as I said, brief recap on how to get started with the modules, and I will concentrate on versioning and Git branching models. Okay, so this is what you do. Git sub module add, and as you can guess, you just copy the URL, shift insert again, and you have to tell, of course, where this sub module would be. Git sub module, pay attention on that. So this is a repository into the repository, but they're absolutely independent. CSN navigation. I have done it already, so I'm gonna show you the result. Notice this. In fact, the skeleton application is in one repository, but the module is in another repository. So repository into the repository. Okay, I'm just tempted to mention the fact that in fact the Zend skeleton application shouldn't be a repository. You can actually download it as a zip file, and after that you actually clone the modules as you would clone the repositories, the ordinary repositories, into the module folder. And after that you're free to continue development. But I just wanted to show this interesting situation with the submodules. Okay, so let's say you have an application which is based on the Zend skeleton application. You have a modules which you keep in a separate repositories. This is the situation I'm talking about. If I hit enter right now, in the folder module, folder module, I made a spell mistake here. In the module will be cloned this remote repository, which is CSN navigation. Okay, let me show you this again. I hope I didn't make any other spell mistakes. So I have executed this command already, just not to waste time. So let's go to module and see what do we have there. Here it is. As you can see, application, which comes with the Zend skeleton application, CSN user, which I did this morning, and just a couple of minutes ago I did CSN navigation, submodule CSN navigation. Okay, so now let me show you how that looks in Git. Git sub module. Let's see how many submodules do we have. Top level, yeah, of course. Git submodule. We need to run this command from the top level of the working tree, and this is what we see. If we say get status, you'll see the status of the Zend skeleton application. But if you go to module now and to CSN navigation, if we run this very same command, you'll see that nothing has been changed. Get status. Those are two completely different repositories, but one of the repository is a submodule. So this is how you work. I would imagine that, for example, if you like to work on CSN navigation, you will create a fork. So you will have a push and pull permissions. So you can change whatever you like, and you can start hacking, for example, changing the things in CSN navigation, and you can continue pushing this to your fork. If you like to share this with the owner of the original repository, you can send a pull request, and this is how you participate in already created project, for example CSN navigation. But if you like, you can keep your fork and you can start your own project if you like. And now let's see how we're gonna name it, how we are gonna name actually the the release versions. Okay, so there is a successful Git branch model. The guy actually speaks about how they did it, how many branches do they have, and what is the workflow, how they use them to develop software. This article is from 2010, so it's 3 years old already. But in the origin repository, they have develop branch and master branch. We know that Git is a distributed version control system, so there is no such thing technically like a central repository. But one of the repositories, of course, can play the role of the central, and we call this repository origin. And origin is hosted usually on GitHub for the open source projects. So on GitHub, these guys have, actually they don't have it on GitHub, but we could have a master branch and develop branch. Those are the branches which are on origin. All other branches are local branches on the computers of the developers. So this is how it goes. We create a develop branch and we start working on the develop branch. All the developers are working in this branch. All development takes place in this branch. Once we are done, as you can see here, we start a new branch which is called release, target release. As soon we are done with that, we merge it, as you can see, back to master. So master branch in fact is used only for holding the software which is ready to be deployed and for creating tags. The development doesn't take place in master branch. Since this was published, actually I have seen many variants in attempt to simplify this successful Git branching model. And recently I came across to this Git branching model. The guy is sharing his experience, not only his experience but the experience of other developers in the open source software particularly, and in PHP. So that's why this model attracted my attention. The guy is mentioning also the successful Git branching model. Actually I'm gonna show you the URLs. So this one, and the more modern, if I can call it this way, branching model is here at this address. So if you pay attention on the first one, you will notice that master branch is not used for anything else but just for tags. But the tags itself, they play the role of the versions. So we can continue actually using the master, and the development can take place in the master. We don't need develop branch. For this tutorial, just to show you how to create develop branch, I will do it and push it to the remote repository. But I'm planning actually to use this branching model. When I say this, I mean the branching model from this page. There are not too many comments here under this publication, under this post, so I'm a little bit afraid that this is not widely spread approach, but I think it's very logical, and I'm thinking that it's a very good one. So how it works is, for the releases, for the version numbers, we're using the tags. For the different releases, we just start a new branch. So the main development takes place in the master branch. For the release, we start a new branch. For example, for release number 1.0, we start a branch 1.0. So the master branch actually automatically will become 1.1, the next one, because we don't name it. When the development is finished in 1.0, we just create a tag and we are done. This is the version. Okay, also I like this graphic here. This is related to the semantic versioning. How we are gonna name our release versions. Here it is. We use three positions: major, minor, and patch. So the digits represent the major release, minor release, the second, and the patch. The explanation can be found here on semver.org, semantic versioning. So armed with this knowledge, let's actually do it. Let's create the first release for our CSN navigation, because so far our modules, they don't have versions, and this is not very convenient because the versions actually represent the stable state of our development process, and the people which are using the modules can go back to different versions. Okay, how we are gonna do that? Now, once we are CSN navigation, let me do this status, and after that I'll do the git remote, just to show that -v verbose, just to show that I'm in another repository. As a comparison, let me show you CSN, for example, CSN user, and I am gonna do the same, git remote -v. Now compare these two, and you'll see that the remote repositories, the origin repositories, are different. Okay, so let me go back to navigation, CSN navigation, CSN of course. Okay, now let's create a tag. Git help gives us the answer how we should create a tag, how the tag can be created. Here it is, the URL, and here it is the text. I just will go and copy this and paste it. After that I'm gonna change whatever needs to be changed. We are creating annotated tag. Annotated tag contains the information about who has created and other useful information. And as I said, according to the rules written in the semantic version, I'm gonna call my first version minor major 0, minor 1, patch 0. Okay, let's go to semantic. Let me show you that. Here it is, the explanation. Major version 0 is for initial development, and since we are in the initial development, that's why I'm calling this version this way, this revision version this way. Anything may change at any time. The public API should not be considered stable. We're at this phase, if I can call it this way, at this stage, this moment in our development of the modules. So that's why I'm calling them this way. Our version 010. I'm gonna say major 0, minor 1, and patch 0. Anything could change. Okay, so let me put this as well. Anything may change at any time. Let's see if I can paste this as a comment. Git tag, I'm creating one annotated tag. Let me show you the status of the repository right now. Look at the repository, CSN user. We don't have branches, we don't have tags. I'm gonna show you right now that I'm gonna create the first tag. As I said, this is a named commit. Okay, let's see now. Git tag. Here we go. we have one tag already. Now, if I push right now origin master, the tag is not going to be transferred to our remote repository. In order to do that, we have to push the tags. So push git push ---- tags, and that's it. I'm gonna type my username and my password. Here we go. After typing my password and hitting enter, as you can see that the new tag actually has been created on the remote repository as well. Let's confirm that. I'm going to refresh the CSN navigation repository, and voila! Now tag 0.1.0 was created. Now the people which are using the modules now can install version 0.1.0 instead of development master, where it's too risky. If you install development master, you always risk that the version is not stable. And also, if you have tested one of the versions, you always can install this version and you're sure that it works. Okay, so as we continue with development, we will release more versions, of course. As I said, I think that for us the best would be to use this branching model explained in this article, in this publication. But I'm planning to use this Git branching model as well, the oldest one, if I can call it this way. Okay, so that's why, even though I'm not planning to use the branching model with develop branch, I'm gonna show how to create this branch and how to push it to the remote repository, and that will be it. Okay, so let me show you something here. Let's look at now the packages, CSN navigation. Because the Git repository has a hook to packages, search packages, CSN navigation. I don't see it here. Here we go, navigation. Here we go. As you can see, packages immediately knows about the new version 0.1.0. Now the people can start using it, and here is explained how. Require coolcsn CSN navigation 0.1.0. Okay. As I said, I'm gonna show you right now how to create a branch if you're planning to adopt the branching model with the develop branch and master branch. So this is how I'm gonna do it. Git branch develop. The branch has been created. Git branch. Here we go. I'm gonna check out. Now I'm in develop branch, and I'm gonna push it. Git push origin. This is my remote repository, as I already said. This is our central, in quotation marks, central, just because we call it this way. Develop, and in the repo we'll have now not only master, but we'll have develop. Okay, let's confirm that. Git push origin develop. have to put my credentials here. I have put my password. I hit enter, and here we go. A new branch develop has been created. Let's confirm that. I still didn't refresh. Now I'm gonna refresh, so you'll see that I have a new branch here. Here we go, develop. And as I said, there is a hook in GitHub linked to packages. So if I refresh here, eventually I will see, here we go, development develop. As you can see, the branches also show up in packages as versions, release versions. Okay, so those are the things I wanted to discuss today in the lecture, in this tutorial, and I hope that it was useful for you. The very same way, I will create a release when I think that the code is ready. I will create a branch with release number. Everybody who wants can join and work on this release, and when it's done, when it's ready, we will create a tag from this release, as you can see here, and after that we'll merge it to the master branch, which actually will represent our newest version. Okay, thank you for your attention, and thank you for watching this, and I hope it was useful for you.